Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the introduction, which shows that I am a former almost everything. A former ambassador and a former minister and a former secretary general and a former candidate and a former chairman of the committee of 50, for almost everything, but
present speaker.
But this, in fact, does not prevent me from thinking to the future, looking to the future and thinking in terms of what we should do in order to save this region and to make it possible for us to sail in the international troubled waters. I am really grateful for the forum for having invited me to participate in this session. I always welcome learning, in particular when it comes to economics and the regional economic revival. I was impressed reading the literature of this forum to find more than one mention to research, promote young researchers, the quality of work, the discussions of very relevant issues to the citizens of this region. And I wish to express my appreciation for this forum, for the director of the forum, and for the former director of the forum, for introducing this notion of research. That's how many societies have achieved progress and succeeded in providing citizens with the source of satisfaction and sometimes even happiness, something that is totally absent from this region. A question was raised about what do we mean by the region? Is it the MENA region, as we have been told? Is it the MENA region with its Arab component, major component, plus Turkey and Iran? What about Sudan or Somalia or the Arab countries in the Horn of Africa? So I would suggest that we talk about MENA plus. MENA region is not only the shores of the Mediterranean, but the shores of the Red Sea also. Our definition of the MENA region should be comprehensive of all Arab countries in addition to our neighbors who qualify for cooperation. And we have to be very serious in talking about the future regional arrangements with them and with others. Is this a transitional period? I would rather use a different term. It is a period of change, of deep change. With it comes a lot of challenges and the state of chaos that we see in different parts of the Arab world, in different parts of this region. So this is change, challenge, and chaos. That's what we are going through now. We, in the Arab world, we tried hard. We shouldn't punish ourselves severely. Yes, we committed a lot of mistakes, definitely. And the result is what we see and what we live. Is this situation of change, of challenge, of chaos, the work of others, of foreign intervention? It could be, but we have to recognize as grown-ups, as people who lived, read, and gone through the experience or the several experiences in this region, we have committed serious mistakes. Mistakes in governance, bad governance in the Arab world, in several Arab countries and other countries of the region. Bad governance has played a very serious role in bringing us to where we are today. This does not mean we exclude the foreign intervention and the malice that accompanied this intervention all through the decades since the end of Cold War. End of World War II. But within the Arab family of nations, and despite the quarrels, the differences, the harsh language, etc., there were plans for cooperation, complementarity, using the Arab capital, offering opportunities to Arab labor, the exchange, the heavy exchange in labor, in tourism, and in several other areas. One of those areas is the practice of Arab economic summits. That notion was promoted by the Emir of Kuwait back in 2008. As a result, we convened the first summit, Arab Economic Summit, in 2009. And the condition was that no politics. We don't talk about any issue that has to do with the problems and their priorities at that time. As a result of that conference, $2 billion were earmarked to help small and medium-sized industries. I'm told by Dr. Abdul Latif Al-Hamad that already 1 billion, 2 million, 200 million, 1 billion and 200 million have been paid to the fund. In addition to that, the Arab Social Fund had already earmarked $5 million to help small and medium-sized industries, which means that it is 500. Over 500, yes. Sorry, 500. That's too much for me, so I always make mistakes and give it to the small amounts of money.
It's only zeros.
Over $1.5 billion is available in the fund. I request our chairman to tell us how many countries have really used this huge fund to promote, to help their small and medium-sized industries. I kept talking as Secretary General of the Arab League at that time to everybody who would listen, wherever I go in the Arab world, from Sudan to Morocco, to Iraq, and of course Egypt. Please make use of this available money. that is supported by a resolution at the highest level, and in fact paid. When the summit talked about making available this amount of money, within days, 1 billion, half, 50% was already sent to the fund. This is very important to recognize that it was not total negligence. No, we were trying to do whatever we could under the circumstances that were prevailing at that time, including in particular the bad governance. The regional cooperation, as explained by the papers of this forum, is not talking about Arab cooperation. It's talking about Arab and other, mentioned in particular Turkey and Iran. We cannot ignore the importance of both countries and the hugeness of their economies and the opportunities they can offer in terms of trade, in terms of many other aspects of the economic development. If we are meeting in one of those Western capitals, a question would have certainly come from the floor and saying, what about Israel? I wish to propose that the work of this forum, research, and in particular the promotion of the young generations of research, that they would adopt a rule that economy and development cannot grow without bearing in mind and taking into consideration the political situation, the geopolitical situation in the region. And it is your duty, your responsibility to make regional economic cooperation as an incentive for peace. Not peace only as a base for economic progress, the contrary, that to participate in, to benefit from this regional economic opportunity, you have to behave. And behaving is not a difficult thing. If you reason, if you consider the vast opportunities of richness, of work opportunities, of mixing, of selling, of buying, of moving, this is the great thing. So this should be an incentive. But for powers that talk about axis, alliances that would divide the Arab world or divide the Muslim world, or continuing to occupy Arab lands, or projecting a kind of leadership imposed on the Arabs in order for us to follow a certain policy. This cannot create the positive atmosphere needed for economy to grow. All the aspects of growth in economy are here. We have the money, we have the manpower, we have the market, we have the geographical location. We have so many things. What we don't have is management, political management. And what we don't have is an understanding within the regional concept and also with the international powers. This is a long story, and if we start discussing this, it will take most of the time of the conference. But I would underline, in addition to the wrong policies, wrong regional policies, and fears that created fears in our minds and hearts about the stability of the region and the future of the region, caused by the wrong policies and attitudes followed by certain regional powers. The international scene is also full of dangers. Until now, we don't know what President Trump intends to do. There's a question mark. Nobody can determine for sure that this is the line the United States is going to follow, in the economic side or the political side. Nobody can determine what kind of future European Union within 5 years. It follows that we have to discuss the euro, we have to discuss the trade, the migration policy or immigration policy, etc. There are so many things on the international level and on the regional level that makes somebody like me request this distinguished forum to address all those issues and prepare the region and the economy in the region to become an incentive. You want this? Pay for it. If you want this, behave. If you want this, you better have the best of relations with us. And we are ready to have the best of relations also. But as a quid pro quo, as you do and I do, you commit, I commit, you extend a hand, I extend a hand. Thank you very much.